Ooh, that's right, baby. It's Bad Brad live. Let's get this camera set right. Let's put this guitar down, and we're just gonna go cash right now. How's everybody doing tonight? I've got the Polar Go running. I've got the Synergy amp plugged into the Polar Go. And man, everything is awesome here on a Saturday night. The dude is arrived and the dude is ready to abide. So we're glad to have everybody here. Mr. Dukeshire is here. Man, I'm glad that you're here, brother. So tomorrow morning on this channel at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have Richard Dukeshire, killer part one of an amazing interview, and a super cool dude. He's from up north. And Richard, you are going to be the star tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I don't know what time that is for you up in Canada, but I'm going to tell you this right now. If you can be there tomorrow, that would be absolutely amazing. So, yeah, hopefully, Richard, that's not too early. But, man, everybody loved both parts. Oh, awesome. He's on Eastern Standard Time. So tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right on this channel. We hope, Richard, set your alarm, dude. Set your alarm because part one is airing tomorrow, and Richard will be with us in the chat. Yes, sir. I hope you can make it. He's in New York State. Amazing. Well, I'm in a New York state of mind, if you know what I'm saying. And don't call me Billy. I might be slightly Joel, but please don't call me Billy. Yeah, try to make it, Richard, if you can. And if you can't make it for the whole thing, you know, pop in for a few minutes. So, man, I'm so glad you made it here, dude. It reminded me of what our programming is for tomorrow morning. So that will be amazing if you can pop in, because people love it when the person being interviewed is in the chat. So, yeah, we got the Waterloo flowing, dude. I just cracked open my first one today. So I'll give you guys the story of you know, how me and Richard hooked up. Is I get this random Facebook message saying, "Hey, were you playing with Cole Ford at the Boots and Hearts concert?" And I think he said Ontario, or yeah, Ontario. And I was like, "Oh crap, what did I do? Who am I in?" It's totally random, dude. And he said, "Hey man, I found this hard drive, and I took pictures that day, and I thought you might like to have these pictures." And I was like, "Absolutely." And so he sent me the picture, and man, the picture just brought back a flood of memories. And I know he could talk about, for one, he was a concert photographer. But before that, he was concert security for the Rolling Stones and Van Halen and AC/DC and all this other stuff. So, man, it's a killer two-part interview that will air tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Super glad that he dropped in the chat tonight, because this is always a fun Saturday night. And he was in Ontario, Canada, Boots and Hearts, largest country music festival in Canada. See, here's the great thing about this. I remembered vaguely. After he sent me the picture, it all came flooding back to me. So many of those shows, man, it was just a blur, and it went whizzing by my head. and I had to talk to Richard, and he'd tell me there were 30,000 people there that day. And then I had to message my former band members and go, hey, wasn't there a emergency helicopter ride that was dependent on us getting on stage? So you'll hear the whole story tomorrow, and it's an incredible interview, and yeah, man, just epic. A super cool guy. I'm gonna have Richard back, man. I'm gonna have him back. Maybe I need to get uh, Richard on, and we'll get a panel. But I tried to get another photographer to come on, but see, not everybody wants to do this. Wants to go on social media and all that. But man, that's going to be amazing. Center Hill, glad to have you here. Why do you release interviews on Sunday morning? There must be a better time. Well, Jay, here's the deal. I started a tradition on this channel, and there is absolutely, I would probably do bigger numbers if I put out videos in the afternoon, just in general, every day. If I put out my videos at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. But the strange thing is we've found this amazing breakfast group, people that get up every morning and we check on each other and we put out the video. And the video, finds its audience through the course of the day. And it's been a good working thing for me to get up. It's the breakfast bunch, all of us every day that joins us on that, and it's become a tradition. So for Sundays, because Sundays people have a little more leisure time, the interviews are generally an hour long. That's why I've been putting them out Sunday morning. Now I've also contemplated maybe I should be singing hymns on Sunday morning. But because here's the thing, some of the interviews I go, man, these topics are maybe not perfect for a Sunday, but I think we cover enough positive things on the channel to counterbalance that. Sean says, I'm always up at sunrise or before, even if I just went to bed. Can't help it. That's how a lot of us are, man. We get up regardless of the way we were back in the day or how we are now. It's just get up. And look, man, I'm on the East Coast. We're kind of serving the East Coast. And look, here's the deal. Sometimes I put out demos later in the day. And look, man, I put it out in the morning, but that just means everybody can watch the videos whenever they want. So, that's the long answer to that question. It's delicious. Man, I've been craving a sparkling water all day, man. I'm so glad to get to sit now. There's tons of gear stuff going on. You've got Marshall joining up with Synergy. I mean, dude, that is friggin' epic. Jay is saying, wouldn't a weekday release get more views? Well, of course. Of course. Look, I put out a video every day. Think about that. And I've been on this grind. I had a guy today that was a recent member. And he says, man, I really like your stuff and all that. He said, but, you're working really hard. Like, you could take a break and you could do this and you could do that. And I said, look, man, here's the deal. I'm basically building something. And I know not everybody who's a member or people that watch the channel, they can't watch every vid, right? But here's the deal. It's like episodes of Seinfeld, back before it had been in syndication for years. All of a sudden you'd be watching Seinfeld and go, man, I've never seen this one before. And so I'm building this large quantity of material. And look, man, I could put out one video a week, work all week on one video and put it out in the afternoon and maybe not have to work so hard. I don't know, but man, I feel like I need to work hard. I feel like I need to have this. And I'm building up something. And look, man, we're trying to reach, of those million Rick Beato fans, we're trying to get 100,000 of those. We're trying to get that. So, I know people will say take a break and all that, but man, I'm on a mission right now. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna put the pedal to the metal, and look, I'm gonna make an announcement to everybody tonight. We are almost at 21,000 subscribers. So if anybody that's watching tonight has not subscribed, I'm going to tell you right now, hit the subscribe. We're almost at 21K, dude. And look, I've seen channels that had more followers than me, and and it seemed like what they had, subscribers or whatever, and it seemed like what they had was unattainable. And I've just worked and worked and worked, and that's the only thing I know how to do, is put the pedal to the metal. So man, you know what? We're going to keep grinding, right? We're going to keep grinding as long as I can. Like, love, and sub, and you can also hype. If people don't know about the hype feature, you can all that. Freddie B, glad to have you here. Yeah, man, doing dishes. I was just doing dishes before I did this. But yeah, man, killer stuff going on. You got the Guitar Summit in Germany. You've got Sweetwater Guitar Fest, which, by the way, and I'm going to put the link to Sweetwater in this video. I haven't done it yet, but man, if you have not checked out Sweetwater's Guitar Fest, dude, they got some crazy deals on stuff. So yeah, yes, Paul, what can I do for you, brother? What do we got, Paul? Well, let me know, brother. Flyer had a question. Okay, let me try and scroll back. It's hard for me to keep up with this chat. I'm literally reading it on a small phone. And when you see, okay, here we go. How soon after Nevermind's release date, September 24th, 1991, were the effects being felt on the strip? That's a great question. I don't think that it felt like business as usual for me. Now, look, man, the music that I was making in 1988 and 89, the music I was making in 91 was different. The music I was making in 92, and the music I was making in 93, and all through my life. You go through different musical stages, right? But we were still playing gigs, dude. I was still, and look towards the end in '94 or '93. No, I think it was '94, dude. I was playing in a three-piece grungy type thing. It had basically got tired of dealing with singers, and I just said I'll do it. So yeah, that's the deal, man. I don't feel like people seem to think, oh, it was obliterated. Look, man, there was also the Spin Doctors coming out. There was also the Blues Traveler and Dave Matthews and all that. It just felt like another thing that record companies were pushing. And while I wouldn't have, here's the thing, my band was never like Poison. We were never like super glammed out, and we always had some element or foot in music, more so than showbiz. So we just morphed in, once Shock turned into Boy Elroy was much more influenced by the Red Hot Chili Peppers and stuff like that. And then once it got really grungy in 93, 94, I decided I'll just do the vocals, and I was singing. People have heard some of the grunge stuff that I've done on here. So that's it never felt like it was just an atom bomb went off and we all just started sleeping outside AM PM. It never really felt like that. But there was a point in 94 where I just said, you know what? If I stay here, is anything different going to happen? So that was it for me as far as grunge, LA, and all that. But man, it wasn't the most sometimes some of the more devastating things about the Sunset Strip was not being able to hand out flyers and hang out on the street. That did more damage than Nirvana, because if we could have kept that party going on that street, I don't care what Nirvana would have done. We were like, dude, this is where the party's at. So yeah, that's the deal, man. What else we got? What else we got tonight? I got the Waterloo flowing. We've got a few Altoids here. Howdy, friend. What are we drinking tonight? Well, Earl, I'm drinking the sparkling water, bro. Oh man, it's going good. Yeah, that's the deal. Thank you, Abel. Yeah, man. Look, dude, if they'd have kept the party, going on the strip, if it had been flyers every night and all that, there still would have been bands making it out of there. And here's the thing, man. It felt a lot like on the Sunset Strip. It felt a lot like it was a gold rush. And once radio format changed, that is true, Rock. That was a major thing. But look, man, even with KNAC down in was that Long Beach, the metal station out in LA, they didn't play Sunset Strip bands either. They were pumping thrash and Metallica and the heavier stuff. So the Sunset Strip thing was always kind of a weird sort of thing. Yeah. So glad to have P-Funk in here tonight. Now, look, we've got our moderators in here. Dave, we got Paul in here. Let's everybody keep it kosher in here. And yeah, we've got the essence of grapes, bro. It's grape essence, which I don't. How do they make it taste like grapes and there's no grapes in it? I don't know. Bard, glad to have you here, brother. What the hell happened to country music? It sounds like rap. Well, dude, that's been happening for the last 20 years. Where have you been? Rock Miller says, what's Ace up to? He's probably in the living room, sitting on the couch. That's what I think Ace is probably doing right now. We've got 60 people in here. And look, I started working on a concept for a video about the gone country thing, about, when more pop artists come in and infiltrate country music, it always dilutes it. It always does. And the reason why, and I'm going to do a whole video on this, but the reason why people go to country is because they go, it's easy pickings. The labels probably love it because they can take Post Malone, who's already got 1 million followers on Instagram or whatever, throw a cowboy hat or a ball cap and some shoes on him and throw him in the studio with some Nashville pros, and instantly they've got a hit. It's instantly somebody they can book. Thank you, Oleg, thank you so much. I think that's right. Did I say that right? Yes. Oleg, thank you very much. Sean said, and I can't stand Texas country either. It is its own genre here. Yeah, Texas, look, man, people that don't know, that haven't been across the country, you will learn that Texas has its own music scene. There are artists that literally just tour Texas and have the Texas charts and all that. That state is so huge. Does it take like 2 days to cross Texas or something like that? Phil, no, I'm not left-handed. It's just a glitch with YouTube, and we haven't been able to figure out why that's doing that. I don't see, there's nothing on here or a way to fix it. So I see a little knob here. Let's see what this knob does. Watch, it'll probably lighting on. Okay, that puts some lighting on. Okay, I don't need lighting. But yeah, anyway, so so that's the deal, and here's a camera setting. I wonder if I touch this. No, that just turned the camera off. So let's not worry about the left-handed nonsense for tonight. Like I said, man, I've spent a couple of hours with YouTube trying to figure out why it's showing my stuff left-handed. I figure it's eventually going to work itself out. And when you watch my regular videos, I'm right-handed. So, oh no, not that button. Exactly, P Funk. Yeah, you saw. I went blank for a while, dude. I blanked out on you. So I still haven't heard from anyone else from the Colt Ford show. Only you, Richard. And I told Richard this. Richard was telling me he reached out to everybody from the band because I gave him everybody's contact information. I said, yeah, send him a message, and he reached out to everybody, and nobody reached back and said, yeah, well, send me those pictures. Look, man, you're not going to get. Look, I know from trying to get people to promote their albums or whatever, come on the channel, do an interview or whatever. The stars largely don't respond back on their social media. They usually don't. There might even be somebody else running it for them, and the other people might just have drifted off and just don't even read their thing. Here's the deal, dude, and with this channel, I started getting a lot more messages. I get social media messages. Eric, glad to have you here. I get social media messages all the time. I started noticing when my social media numbers on other things, Instagram, Facebook, and stuff, I started getting friend requests on Facebook. I'm not even that active on Facebook. I'm not that active on Instagram. It is what it is. If I wasn't doing YouTube, I probably wouldn't be doing any of this stuff. Probably wouldn't be, if it didn't turn into the new gig for me, I wouldn't be doing any of this stuff. So, that is what it is. Maybe that's what makes it real to a certain degree because I'm not a social media. Oh, let's take a picture and selfie and post it and try to get clicks and all that. And here's the deal, man. I don't know why. I told Richard that the guys probably won't respond back. It just is what it is, man. I try, and I'll let everybody know. If you send me an email or a message or whatever, I try to read it, but I can't. It's like I can't do everything. If people send me files, like people send me a music file and say, hey man, here, listen to my song or whatever, I cannot click on any files or any of that. I will not, because people have had their whole channels deleted and stuff by clicking on the wrong thing. So that's kind of the limit. But yeah, this Richard, you've got a fun little place here. And dude, here's the deal. This week, this Sunday, we got Richard, and next Sunday we got Richard. So I'm going to extend the invite to next Sunday if he's thing. But yeah, Erickson, dude, I had a guy the other day, and he wrote me this long email, and he wanted me to hear this track and all that, and I looked at it. It looks like an MP3, but dude, I just can't risk it, man. And look, sometimes, I don't know what it's tricky, man. It's tricky. I try to reply to everybody, but look, I've also had some crazy messages and stuff about people want me to meet them at truck stops, and they were going to take their teeth out and all this kind of crazy stuff. So look, man, if I don't reply back to a message or whatever, it's not nothing offensive. Uh, Paul is saying the Earl can give it away. Well, the file name can give it away, but I just don't trust anything, man. I'm not smart enough um, to. Yeah, Erickson knows that story, dude. When I first came down here to Florida, and yeah, that would be smart, Acapulco. That would be the way to do it. But these people say, "Oh, I don't want anybody else to hear it." Why are you sending it to me? Uh, yeah, Sean. So yeah, early in my time, and this is a wild story. When I first moved down to Florida, and people were watching my channel, and I broadcast that I was moving down to Florida. This one guy started messaging me and started saying, "Yeah, well, I know Florida, and I can tell you about the gig scene, and I can do all this stuff." And so when I get to Florida, he's messaging me, "Hey man, I want to meet you. Uh, I can meet you at the truck stop off of, I don't know, it was 91 or something. I can meet you at the truck stop in a half hour. And no cameras, because I'm not going to have my teeth in. And and all this." And I was like, what the, dude, at that point, because look, man, I had drove all the way down from Tennessee. I drove a friggin' truck filled with my gear, right? I had to unload the gear, park the truck. It was a long day. And I get home, I get down here. Welcome to Florida. Meet me at a truck stop. I won't have my teeth in. I'm just like, dude, is the Florida man rumors true? Uh, and look, I don't think the guy meant anything nefarious. The guy's like, 75 years old or something like that. But dude, I'm literally like trying to get procured dinner for my daughter and my wife, and make sure the place that, because we were staying in a guest house, make sure that was set up for them and the air conditioning worked and all that. And then I got some guy telling me to meet him in a half hour at a truck stop. It's just like, dude, and I was totally new to YouTube. Yeah, no sharp objects. Yeah, I mean, dude, I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. I'm just not. I can't. I got to be careful, man. I got people, at message. Oh, are you? Where are you living? You know where I'm living? Parts unknown, dude. Parts unknown. And that's the deal, man. Have to. Like I said, if I wasn't doing YouTube, if this wasn't like my full time gig, I wouldn't be doing any of this stuff. I wouldn't be on social media. I wouldn't be telling any of these stories. And trust me, I've got way wilder stories than anything that's been on the channel. Meet me at the gas station at 12 a.m. Yeah, I mean, dude, even if P-Funk came to town and said, "Dude, meet me at the truck stop at 12 a.m." No offense, P-Funk, but I'm probably not going to make it down to the truck stop at 12 a.m. Especially if P-Funk says he's going to keep his teeth out. I don't know. What's up? So that's the deal. Lake Street, Hong Kong. There you go, Dave. I mean, look, man, it gets a little crazy, dude. Because you put yourself out there. I'm not one of those people that I was at the point with social media, dude, where I was like, it's kind of just over it, right? But something told me to do this, and I'm so glad I did, because look, today I had a guy comment on a video, and he was at Guitar Fest at Sweetwater, and guess what? He met Mario, my contact at Synergy, And he told him, he says, yeah, I know about synergy from watching Bad Brad. And Mario goes, hey, yeah, I'm working with Bad Brad on that. So that is why I'm doing this. That is the greatest answer in the world. And how cool is that he said, hey, I learned about synergy from watching Bad Brad. So man, that's awesome. Yeah, Richard, I'm gonna come up to Canada, and I'm gonna tell you that I'm at a truck stop at 2 a.m. Oh, and don't tell anybody you're meeting me there. Exactly, bro. Exactly. I'm gonna I'm gonna go up. Mike H, how you doing, brother? I'm gonna go up to Canada, and I need you to hold something for me for a little while. If you could just, I've got a suitcase I need. Don't open it, but I need you to hold this for a while, right? Have I tried Suno? Oh, the song creation app. Yeah, I think is that what that is? Is that what the guy answer? Let me know if that's what you're talking about. I think that's the song creation thing. I have tried that. Um, I have tried that. Uh, Dude, it's frightening, is what it is. It's frightening. Flyer Boy says, "Have you ever used a parametric or graphic EQ stomp axe or rack unit?" Here's the deal, Flyer. I never have gotten into graphic EQ because, frankly, dude, I don't know the difference between 5K and 10K, or 20K, or 100 hertz, or any of that, dude. For me, it's my ears, and I dial in what the sound that I like, that sounds good to my ears that day. And then the next day I'll come back and listen to it. If I track something and go, was that a little bright? Did I not put, or has that got too much low end in it? So I don't, I've never really messed with one. Now I've owned one, but I was too young to really know what the hell to even use it for. Now people are using them like crazy, and it's a really cool thing. But I'm from the school that we didn't do that. Yes, the Marshall module, dude. That is an amazing thing. When I woke up in the morning, look, you learned if you watched this channel couple weeks ago, Mario was here and he said, we got a new product coming out and it's going to be Gear Fest or Guitar Fest at Sweetwater, right? And sure enough, what was it, 2 days ago? I get up and I went, holy moly. So you guys got a preview that something was coming. Otherwise, no one would have even known that something was coming. But the fact that they got Marshall to partner up with them, dude, that's pretty incredible. And here's the thing, man. I expect and look, I'm just speculating. I don't have any inside information, but they did a JMP, the new Marshall modules at JMP. Wouldn't you think some of the other amps that Marshall did might show themselves into a module? Makes you think. I think it's great, Scott. I think that stuff is great, dude. Yeah. Bo is saying you just made me not want to start a channel. Look, Bo, and look at the thing that happened with the 60 cycle hum guys. They did a video talking about somebody ragging on another famous guitar player, and then that famous guitar player blasted them on Twitter or X, whatever it is. Look, man, it's not for the faint of the heart. I had a guy, right before I did this show, I had a guy leave a comment, and he said, talking about my video today, talking about silence. Look, I talk about different things on my channel. This is not just pentatonic talk, or this triad, or we do different stuff on this channel. It's a conversation might be the thing. But this guy posted a comment, and he said, what was it? It was essentially, oh, this is a bunch of self-help guru rubbish. You should be telling people to get out of their shells. And what do you mean silence? What are we gonna just sit and not talk to each other, not communicate? This is the worst video you've ever done. And I just wrote him back and I said, man, I really hope you have a better day. Because look, man, anybody who's gonna take the time to, like, and he obviously watched the channel, right? Because he said, I like some of your videos, but yeah, he completely missed the point. But here's the deal. There's always one of those. There's always one. And the rest of the comments are all people totally in agreement and going, yes, you should listen. One guy commented he worked for the FBI or something, and it's like they're teaching new recruits how to listen. They're literally teaching people how to listen. If you listen to somebody, if you listen to the band you're playing with when you're playing, you're much better able to find a cool part to play. It's not always, depending on the band you're with, sometimes the part on the record doesn't work. If you're playing with a bunch of dudes from the R&B church scene, they're not going to play the same chords that are on the record. If you're not listening to those guys and what they're doing, what you're playing is going to stand out like a sore thumb. So, and here's the other thing. Show them that you're listening by emphasizing notes that they're playing in their chords, and they'll literally be like, oh man, he's picking up that I'm playing this chord sub here. And then listen to what the flower people say. Exactly. I still have not seen the Spinal Tap movie. I think that's going to be a wait till it comes at home. John, thank you so much, brother. Let's see, he's got a comment there. Privacy issues are real. Think you're building a channel that's worth dealing with the public idiots. I think so too, John. I think it's worth it, man. And look, so far, me and my wife, we seem to move every couple years. It's just, she's already looking at another house, dude. She's already, and I'm like, what? We just got here. So I don't want to move. I just got my room, dude. But yeah, that's right, Dave. Exactly. So, we tend to, yeah, we just got the studio together, and we're just getting things popping here. So, can you talk about the guy in the horn section at a gig that sat there like a log, and how frustrating that was, him earning a paycheck for doing squeeze? Shane is referencing, I did a video about the guy who blew the gig, right? It was basically a horn player was brought in, another horn player recommended a guy for a gig, and the guy gets to the gig and he doesn't know any of the songs. So, okay, this is blocked.
Okay, she can get around it.
Okay, be careful when you step on that mic stand, it's gonna bash the wall.
Okay.
You can move that.
Okay. Mia, can you get around it?
We've got visitors.
It's Elvis here.
Elvis is here. It's not really that friendly for in and out travel right now, guys. We got cables and everything.
She got it.
Okay, we've got a visitor.
She wanted to show you.
She wants to show.
Here is the Elvis parkour.
So
we didn't put the pants on.
So she's not got the pants on, but here's the deal. So we got Mia's got this faux leather jacket.
It's a new leather jacket that Dad got
and they
me.
want. I got her this, right? And she's got to do biography day for school, right? So what did we choose? And can anybody guess what we choose? We chose for biography day. Can anybody guess? This. So somebody kind of got it. Iron Man. I think got it. Yes. So Mia, can you say what I told you to say?
Hound dog.
You-
I'm Elvis Presley, not Iron Man.
No, I'm talking. That's the guy in the thing. Yes, she's got the Elvis thing, and she's got the black pants, and we're gonna get her some. We're gonna get her. She wants a pompadour.
We put on the pompadours, make a look
Make your hair pile it up like that.
like pompadours.
And she wants a pompadour. Yes. And so that's we did a poster board with Elvis, and yeah, check this out.
Here.
So y'all see what we've been doing here. Now watch out, you've got
Okay.
cables here and everything.
Okay.
But look,
Don't.
we helped her put this together.
No.
So Elvis, right? And we got the military service and the charity and the '68 comeback special and the Vegas, and there's a guitar pick on there.
That says Mia Grace.
And it says Mia Grace on it.
And then
And-
that says Blue Hawaiian.
And it says Blue Hawaii, yes.
And
So this is what's going on here at this channel. Now, y'all take that and now skedaddle.
Okay.
Let me finish up the night.
You
Mia,
put her
step
up
over
that
there.
way.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'll
Okay, come over here, Mia.
I'll get her on that side. All right.
What was
Say
that?
good night.
All right, say good night.
good night.
All right, see ya.
See you next time.
All right, so that's what's going on. John, thank you so much, brother. Thank you, John, saying, living with the old lady. I kept my boxes packed for 5 years. Awesome rockstar costume. Thanks, John. Yeah, so here's the deal. I'll give you guys a secret. My wife wanted to do Lily Pulitzer.
I hear you.
My wife wanted to do Lily Pulitzer, right? And she bought a Pulitzer dress, and she was going to do a thing, but it's like Mia doesn't know anything about the Lily Pulitzer, right? But we listen to Elvis every day going to school, so she knows Elvis. She's been watching Elvis videos since she was a little kid. Whenever I would listen to music with her, we would listen to Elvis. Whenever I'd watch a music video at home, because it was more kid friendly than putting on some of that stuff that that's out there these days. So and the same thing, going to school, put the Elvis channel on. It's usually pretty tame, and so when it came time to who do we want to do, and she didn't want to wear the flowery dress with the thing, and talk about this dress thing, and I'm like, I knew Elvis. I go, we could do the military service. We got charity work. We've got the comeback special. We got 50s Elvis. You got Vegas Elvis. You got all of that. Mike H, have a great gig, brother. So that's how that all came about. So yeah, man, that's one thing we've been doing here at the house, and Mia wanted you guys to all see the outfit. Of course, I can do that as well, right? Yeah, exactly. P Funk said, "Hey, so did I, dude." And you know what? We're still here. We're still here. Exactly. So that's what's happening, man. That's what's happening here. And I hear Ace barking like crazy in the background, which is driving me absolutely bananas. Ace is driving me bananas. All right, now look. We got 56 people in here. Let's get the thumbs up. Everybody hit the thumbs up. Yeah. Erickson's saying Ace needs to pee. Shuffle dance to, hey, Rhonda, I put up Elvis videos all the time. And she used to go nuts. She used to go nuts when I put the Anne Margaret and Elvis thing where they're both like dancing together and stuff like that. She would get up and do the whole Anne Margaret dance routine and stuff. Wow. So here we go. We got Diane Benavides. She said, we lived in Vegas in the early 70s when Elvis would perform at the International. Vegas was literally like Christmas. That is amazing. Now, see, this is why I do this channel. People like that coming on. Thank you so much. Now, I've got to ask you, Diana, did you go see Elvis when you were there in the 70s? Because I saw him when I was a little kid. So yeah, man, that is amazing. Diana, it is great to have you here. Oh, she saw Anne Margaret. Anne Margaret used to play the strip all the time. Now Anne Margaret is still going. She's still going now. I don't think she's doing any performing these days, but she probably does some movies every now and then. Shuffle dancing, Elvis. Yeah, man. I put on, dude. Elvis is always playing in this house at some point. Yeah, Anne Margaret was amazing. Leanne. Okay, do we have any people out there that think Elvis should have married Anne Margaret rather than? Well, you know. I am of, here's the thing. I don't think it would have worked because, Elvis wanted somebody at home and Anne Margaret was going to have her career. But man, if those two, maybe Anne Margaret could have saved him. I don't know, dude. So Diana says, we tried to get tickets. I love Anne Margaret. She did come back special. We saw it. It's on YouTube. Wow. Very cool. They would have crashed it out. Yeah. Grumpy old men. Yeah. Here's the deal. Yeah. I two people, I think too much alike. Exactly, Rhonda. For me, I always try to stay away from, I used to think that I would want to date like a performer or whatever. And then I pretty soon realized they're too much like me. There's too much stuff you got to deal with, and so I nixed that idea, for myself. And I think a lot of performers do that because it's just like it's almost like it's too much of the same thing. Being in the same business, I mean, actors try it all the time, and it never seems to last. But hey, your mileage may vary. But yeah, Anne Margaret was great. She was awesome. So P-Funk, now here's the deal. That's an interesting question. He always says Mary Ann rather than Ginger every time. Here's the deal, man. I might be one of those strange ones that would say Ginger. Always trying to go higher up the ladder, and knowing that I was going to get burned. The closer you get to the light bulb in life, the bigger chance you're going to get burned. But for me, I always thought, Ginger with those outfits and all that. John, dude, thank you so much. Let's see if he's got a question. Dude, that Axe collection is looking good. Overflow racks in use. Yes, the overflow is going right now. I got a rack on this side with like 4 in it. I've got a few leaning against the amps because today I was actually trying to clean out the studio a little bit. I've got to do a bunch of work this coming week. Wife's going to be out of town for a few days. It's going to be me and Mia. I'm going to try to get as much work done this week as I can. And Mike P Funk summed it up. Ginger for a weekend, but Marianne, yeah, Marianne for the long haul, of course. But Diana says the YouTube video of Anne Margaret dancing to Land of a Thousand Dances from the show we were at. You all should check it out. Learned how to boogie watching her group. Right on, Diana. That is awesome. I think I've seen that video. So yeah, man, absolutely. Bo is saying Ginger and Marianne. Well, but of course, darling, but of course. So here's the deal, man. You never know what we're going to talk about on this channel, and that's why I love doing these Saturday nights. Because look, man, and I did the picture, maybe the picture for tonight's episode, giving the reality of Backstage. The guy eating a gas station sandwich, a bag of chips, and a bottle of water in a filthy dressing room. Maybe that's a reality that people don't want to see. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about the thumbnail, and is the thumbnail even still there? Am I gonna have to go in and it's like there's all kinds of glitches and stuff going on, but yeah, 7-Eleven tuna, yeah, always stay away from the tuna, bro. Always stay away from the gas station tuna. Yes, so that's the deal, man. That's the deal. We got so much stuff coming up this week. And look, man, I'd like to next year. I'd like to go to, Guitar Fest in Sweetwater. I'm hoping that I can go to NAMM show this year. But whether we can look. I told my wife, I go, dude, that's an expensive. That's an expensive trip, And here's the other thing. In order to maximize viewing of me going out to NAMM, I would need to, shoot, then go to the room, edit, and post. I do all my editing on a desktop. I don't use laptops. Laptops are too much like this, too much dinosaur T-Rex hands. It would be very expensive. If I just went by myself, it would be very expensive. So I don't know, man. I'm gonna try to make that happen, but I need to get out and go see more guitar shows and do more different things on the channel. I need the dongle, of course, and like I said, man, if you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. We're almost at 21,000, dude. 21,000, and like I said, dude, there's other channels that I don't see the growth. I get a lot of people saying, slow down, don't put out as many videos, do this, do that. Everybody's got an opinion, but by pushing, I'm seeing it go. I'm seeing the subscribers. And look, every now and then a video pops. The video that I did, what was it, about the being on a tour bus exposed, tour bus life exposed. That video went very consistently, getting lots of views. Look, man, it was in the reserves. It was literally in the reserves. So I had no idea that video was going to do it. John, thank you so much. Thumbnails are getting really good. I love them. Really isn't always pretty. That's exactly it. That's exactly it, man. That's a part of what this channel is showing what it's really like, dude. It is, even on gigs where, dude, you're making pretty good scratch. you might the meal backstage. It might be the dreaded bandwich. Literally, like come in with a tray, and they say, "Oh, how many of you guys are here tonight?" "Oh, there's 10 of us, or there's 8, or whatever." And they literally come in with 10 brown paper bags, like I don't. It's like we're school kids or something, And it's like you open it up, and it's like, I don't know, an apple that's like past its sell-by date, and a sandwich of nefarious. You don't have any idea how long it's been sitting out. You don't know what temperature it's been at. And then maybe a bag of chips. I would always look, man. Here's a tip for people that play gigs, and you go play these places, and sometimes the food prep is questionable. If you can don't eat that much that day, and if you get to the gig, sometimes all I would eat would be a biscuit or a roll. Just something so you're not feeling hungry, but taking a chance on chicken that's been sitting out for 2 or 3 hours, or you're looking at the kitchen and going, this place looks kind of rough. Can I get some bread? Because dude, you're not going to get sick, from a roll, right? And that is literally sometimes, what you do. Thank you, Diane. Diane is saying, we really enjoy this channel. You do preach the truth. Have family musicians, you tour for many years, and you really tell it like it does happen on the road and performing. Thank you, Diana. Man, I'm just so glad to get so many new faces in here. New people join the channel, and want to let everybody know that tomorrow morning, every morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we put out a new video, dude. And I'm going to keep it up as long as I can. And when I can't keep that up, I'm going to put out as many as I can. But you know what? It's good motivation. It's good juju. It's good vibes. It's helping. When I find out that it's helping people out there, then I'm motivated to do this. And here's the deal, man. I might do, how many people are around during the day? Yes, Erickson, the interview tomorrow is with Richard Dukeshire. It's a great interview with a great photographer. He was here earlier tonight. He might still be here. I don't know. But I'm hoping that he joins us tomorrow. He knows about it now. And so hopefully he will be with us. I'm going to set that up right after this so you can hit the notification. Make sure you join us tomorrow. If you can't make the debut, the video will be live. Part 1 with Richard Dukeshire, concert photography, dude. And a blast back from the past for me. It literally, seeing that photo just literally like stopped me in my tracks, because there's so many memories that I forgot on the road. And to see that picture and then remember that day and have the thing and be able to reach out to the guys that I played with that day and go, hey, do you remember that gig? Is my memory correct? I think he's only got 3 or 4 shots total, Erickson. So the guy who could do that would be Jeff Mitline. I tried to get Jeff Mitline to come on the channel, but he doesn't do social media. He's very he just shoots shows and hangs out after the show, and that's it. I'm sorry, Shane. Yes. What do you want to know? Here's the deal, man. When anybody, Shane is asking about the horn guy who could not play his parts. Whenever you have dead weight on stage, it's always it's always makes everybody else have to work harder. When you're young, you get ticked off and you yell at them or you do whatever. When you're older, you know that nothing I say is going to make this guy all of a sudden be able to do the gig. So I just literally, you just put your nose to the grindstone and you just plow through the gig. Was I beat up the next day? Was I extra sore? Was I, aggravated? Yes, absolutely. What can I do? We're playing literally brick house. The horn part is boom, ba boom, boom, boom. What, 6 notes, 7 notes? Walking up a minor. If you can't play that, nothing I say is going to change it. So when you have somebody on a gig who's not cutting it, you best just, for one, if they don't play, well, at least they're not playing. Because there's nothing worse than somebody hitting wrong notes all night. That was the one saving grace of the whole thing, was that the guy was not playing. So here's the thing, though. He stood there, so essentially he gets a check at the end of it. But in all reality, he should have said, man, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm going to bail. Why don't you guys all split my money? That would have been the cool thing to do, because we all had to work harder. And this guy was just standing there looking like a stick in the mud on stage. So that is what it is. But look, we're at the end of the show tonight. Thank you everyone for being here. I'm going to join you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you everyone for being here this Saturday night, Backstage with Bad Brad. I will see everybody tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, dude. Have a great night. Thank you all.